way back when was I was working for Miller or ITW Welding in New Jersey, and I would come and visit, and I knew there was a potential I could move here. I said one of those trips, I said, I am going to go see what the lacrosse looks like in the area. And I went to a practice. Marsh and Chris Green were having at the old Fox Valley. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, there's lacrosse here. And then I ultimately went to a game. I think it was between Appleton and Green Bay Southwest. And when I compare that game to where we are now, that game looked like football with sticks, man. I mean, it was. And now I don't care what team you look at, Appleton, Neenah, any one of them, Bayport, it looks like lacrosse. So it's really exciting. Yeah.
It's actually interesting you say that because that is true, isn't it? In the time that you've
Oh,
been here and even in the last half dozen years, 8 years, it's really, it's a completely different game almost.
oh man. Well, it's, kids in, first and second grade picking up a stick instead of kids in eighth and ninth grade. And it's
Right.
just, some earlier exposure. Not that we don't add kids, later on. I got kids this year that they played in sixth grade at Kimberly. They did baseball or whatever for a few years, and then they came back in high school. And I mean, I got a couple of juniors, seniors. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
let's get back into lacrosse. So it's been great.
We've talked about it a lot. I mean, that's obviously is the key is to build the youth program, whether it's
Yeah.
lacrosse or any of the sports, really. That's the
Yep.
key. And I mean, you started in Appleton. I mean,
Mhm.
for anybody that's interested, I mean, we did a full interview with you,
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe a year ago or something. I'm not even sure, but we talked a lot about this. But I mean, just briefly, you come to Appleton, you basically you and Espinoza and Marsh, the three of you, and Becky,
And Chris
Hunter,
Green.
and
Yeah.
Chris Green. Yeah, I mean, you guys
Yeah.
basically start Appleton, and I mean, you more or less started Kimberly as well, or at least were instrumental in
I
helping Kimberly.
kind
There's a
of
group of
pushed it
guys.
along and
Yeah,
encouraged the folks like the Odgers and Gage, and yeah.
I'm getting old, so I lose track of time. But how many years ago was that you started doing just the youth of Kimberly? Because they initially the youth were part of Appleton, right? The Kimberly youth in the early
Well,
days.
so in 2016, I had a very pivotal team, and I can look up because I have a picture of this Appleton team above my TV.
Yeah,
And in that, I have got, I think, 5 or 6 Kimberly guys playing on Appleton's U14 team. And
yeah.
what's really cool is one of them, Jeremiah Duvall, eighth grader then, is now one of my assistant coaches and has been for the past 4 or 5
Oh,
years.
yeah,
So like that's 2016, right? And they formed the basis for the high school team when they got done with U14, they're going to Kimberly High School and like, all right, what are we going to do? And they said, let's. I said, guys, if you want to form a team, and they did, and so here we are now. All these many years later. Now I guess it's 17, 18, whatever that would be, almost 8, 9 years later now
yeah.
for
I'm not good at
Kimberly.
math, so you're
And then
asking
at
the
the
wrong
same
guy.
time, there were fifth and sixth graders that were starting to play. So really, Kimberly started high school and youth almost at the same time,
Yeah.
and with the Odgers and that crew, and it's great, man. I get pictures. I got a picture last weekend from Luke Odgers and Eli DeWitt from Appleton taking a picture on a field somewhere. They played club lacrosse between Plattsville and Northern Michigan.
Oh, nice.
Those guys are still playing, and
Oh, that's good to
I
hear.
coached them both in youth. It was
Yeah.
great. So it's fun to see those guys doing stuff.
I remember those guys well too. I ref both pretty much all their high school careers, so that was
Oh yeah,
yeah, a lot of fun. Luke,
yeah.
a great Fogo for sure.
Oh man, absolutely. He won 300 faceoffs in one
Oh
year.
wow,
I don't know
I
how you
believe
do
it.
that. Like I don't know how you physically do that. Like good lord, and he was the only guy to battle the Hudson guys that year. They beat him, but they were like, "Oh, this isn't easy," or they one kid's at Utah now, I think, or something, and
Sure.
he battled them. So yeah, yeah,
We talked briefly to Marsh just about the Bay Valley because at one time Hudson was in the Bay Valley. They're not anymore, right? That's been kind of
yeah. No,
reshuffled.
they're not. And if you look at a map, you know, it's
Would have
kind
made
of hard to
perfect
have
sense.
them in the Bay Valley. Yeah, right. It was kind of just the way things were. But well, what it is now they're WIAA, and because they're federated and Minnesota's federated, they can play Minnesota teams. So for them to
Okay.
get games, they don't have to drive all the way across the state. So,
That makes sense. You mentioned the
which brings me
WIA.
to my team this year.
Yeah. Well,
And
before we get there, I just want to ask
yeah,
you
but
one quick thing on the
remember Hudson.
WIAA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you like it over? I mean, is this year 2
Oh,
of the WIAA?
there's just no comparison. It's in terms of I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get equal access in the school. We're equal access for the youth program and fields. We're financially supported so the kids can play with a much less of a financial burden. They're really truly part of the school. So yeah, it's been great. I have, I mean, there's a little growing pains, but man, that's nothing. I mean, it's nothing to even think about compared to, when you talk about field access and money and access to the sport. We went from Joe, we went from 38 kids ish, which is a
Mhm.
varsity and a JV. This year at Kimberly, we got varsity and 2 JV teams with 60
Oh,
plus
excellent.
kids participating. So yeah, I mean, and it's all WIA in my opinion because the low barrier to jump in and give it a shot.
That's interesting you say. I never thought about that, but you're right. Because I mean, lacrosse. I mean, there is financial support, but it is kind of an expensive sport.
Well,
It can
it
be.
it can be, but it doesn't have to be. Like all my
Right.
kids, I'm like, hey, you want gear? Here's from the Hornberger collection of gear. What do you want? I give them stuff. They give it to me back at the end of the season. Make sure you
Sure.
sweat on it a little bit. And and then after that, it's the $35, I think. So
Yeah.
and then follow the rules, right?
Follow the
So
rules.
that's what it should be. That's the way high school sports should be. And I'm really happy to be a part of it. I think we're in a really awesome place in lacrosse in Wisconsin.
That's good to hear.
I'm excited. Yeah,
I was excited when we Tosh and I interviewed Steve Young, the Neenah football head
I
coach, a
love
couple
that.
of weeks ago.
Loved it.
Yeah. Well, it was great lacrosse because there's a football coach that understands lacrosse, sees the value in lacrosse, and wants the kids to play lacrosse. That you and I talked, I mean, that weight room piece, I think, is sort of that connecting piece. And
Yeah.
he was comfortable and happy with it. And I was excited to hear that.
Yeah, I sent that. I sent that to Scooter just as an affirmation of what we're doing at Kimberly, which is, hey, all this we promote multi-sport, and let's all meet in the weight room and speed training. And I mean, my senior class this year, those kids have been dedicated to the weight room and to speed training, and it's just all showing up so far in practice. Who the heck knows what we're going to have when we get out in the field in a few days? But yeah.
Right. Well, you're about to hop on a bus here in a couple of days. You'll have already played games when this is released, but
Uh-huh.
let's talk about your team. How does Kimberly look this year? I know you're excited for the season, but tell me about the boys and the team.
Well, I think going back to our earlier discussion, this is a group of seniors who have the core of which have played lacrosse. They played in youth. They played in fifth and sixth grade. So this is their big year to be seniors, and it seniors are stronger than juniors, are stronger than sophomores, and stronger than freshmen is what I've learned over the years, Joe. I don't know. It's pretty complicated, but
Yeah,
um,
makes
and
sense.
and this group is we've got about 16 kids that are all seniors, plus some really strong underclassmen. So we're very excited. I'm very very happy for them that they've stuck with it, stuck with the commitment to playing and doing the speed and the strength, and working on their stick and augmenting, not for everyone but for who it's the right fit for, construct and Scotty, previously.
Sure.
So I'm really excited for this crew, and just hope they're able to put out their best performance every time they go out in the field. We've got we're starting out with first ever spring break trip. We are traveling down to Chicago
Nice.
via MSOE and Benedictine University, and we are playing Then on Friday, we are playing a school called Fenwick Academy, and then we are playing Fenwick High School, and then we are playing one of the top 20 teams, I'd say, in Illinois, sitting 4-0 right now.
Yeah.
Downers Grove. So really, really excited to just really see where we're at to start out. You know, when you see your team in isolation here in the first couple of weeks of practice, you say, boy, that looks good and that looks good. And man, do we got to fix that. And, you know, so we'll see.
Sure.
It's going to be a tough year, man. Everyone else has got seniors too. I know I just watched Alex Alatorre for Neenah committed to MSOE along with my guy, Cody Thorson is also committed MSOE. So
Nice.
Coach Farrell's got two guys from our conference right there playing D for him next year.
That's awesome. And leave it to the engineers to put a lacrosse field right on top of a parking garage.
And Joe, we're playing there. It'll
yeah.
be snowing because it is Wisconsin spring.
Yeah.
But
and
yeah,
season.
we're going to practice there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Now I love it. For anybody that doesn't know, that they put a lacrosse field on top of a parking garage in the middle of Milwaukee. It's awesome. So lacrosse, it's not like football necessarily where you're pretty much all playing conference games. Lacrosse still you play a lot of the teams in the state plus the Bay Valley. So kind of want to break down both. What do you see in the Bay Valley? Who are some of the players to watch? You know, some of the teams. What's your assessment of the Bay Valley? And after that, we'll take a look at the state.
Well, I think you got to start with Marsh's team, you know, that went to the state championship and came a minute and a half away from sneaking away with that one with some awesome goalie play. I'm happy. Jack Ramsos, wherever you are, very glad you played, glad you graduated, man, because he was a good goalie. And Ben Carey, Marsh had last year too, is just a phenomenal player who's now playing at University of Albany, D1. So just a great athlete. So they graduated, but then they backfilled with some really nice players and everything Steve Young talked about, right? A nice mix of kids playing football and lacrosse. So I think Neenah's going to be tough. Kids like Keen Sullivan coming into their own their senior year. Kids like Jackson Brown, hopefully he's healthy this year. And then you got to look at Appleton. Appleton, I think they were, boy, God bless, everyone was involved with Appleton. I think it's so hard to manage at times a multi-school co-op.
Sure.
But they've got the numbers. I heard the other day they're 45 plus, I guess, something like that, which means they're going to have a solid JV team, varsity team. And their defense is huge. I mean, they are just absolute monsters. They graduate a lot of their offense, so I think that'll be Danny's challenge this year. But defensively and in the cage, they got two good options with Bishop and Collins. So, yeah. So they're going to be good. Wausau, I feel bad for Nico Federici, man. What a great kid, great player. He's going D1, and he hurt his knee.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, from what I understand. I mean, I shouldn't say things like that, but I know. Let me put it this way: I saw him a couple of weeks ago, and he was on crutches, and it doesn't look like that's happening this year. So, but he's got, they still got Sam Galang, a strong player out there in Wausau. So, I think them plus our senior class. Not throwing any shade at any of the other people, man. Last year, our night almost knocked us off. Notre Dame's with a new coach, looking strong. Bayport's always tough with new coach Morgan. And, Pulaski's, I think Rich is finally getting some varsity programming in there. So, it's going to be a fun year.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Rich here a little bit later, be part of this episode as well.
Excellent.
So the state overall, I mean, it's always, we joked about Hudson. They always had great players, but you go down south, Arrowhead, and I mean, any of the Madison, Milwaukee teams, there's always studs out there. What's the state look like as a whole?
Yeah, I think, Middleton, the reigning state champs, we're playing them. So I'm excited. We're going down there. Our season is definitely a gauntlet up front. We're playing these Illinois teams. We play Neenah first, in the
Wow.
conference, like on a Thursday night after, a week from now. Then we play Middleton. Then, and then we play Wanakee. So, it's and I'm very happy, I mean, um, I think I've been reading a book called The Obstacle is the Way.
Okay.
And I think you got to put those challenges out there for your team, and whatever it is, whatever the W or an L is, wherever you end up in the column, you just want to keep getting better. So at the end of the year, you're playing your best, which I thought we did last year, and I'm just hoping we can keep going. Unfortunately, you got to climb the hill all over again, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, and WIAA, the WLF did a great job hosting the state tournament, but boy, that state tournament at Sun Prairie in that new
Yeah,
stadium, what a great setting.
awesome. Beautiful,
Definitely.
beautiful. It was good. Really nice day. And yeah, just a great environment all around. So, yep.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
You mentioned,
I think my team. I didn't talk about my own guys.
yeah. Let's hear it.
Go ahead, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, let's hear. I want to hear about.
Well,
the
I'd
guys.
say, yeah, I talked about some of my seniors. I got 3 senior captains. Jack Slutke has just dedicated himself to lacrosse and speed and training, and he's from a family that knows how to train. And every time I just was looking at Jack's stats the other day from freshman year, played some freshman year, more sophomore year. Last year was, key guy. So hope he has a great senior year at attack. Cody Thorson, I mentioned him. The battles in practice are just unreal with him playing defense, and the rest of the defense chirping the offense is you love, as a coach, you just love it, and these guys are really going after it in practice. So I think they're looking forward to seeing a different uniform. Got Carter Erdman, another senior, Will Cote, another senior, Peyton Mazinski, another senior. All these guys are going to contribute. And then I got what Reed Lindenberg as our sophomore goalie. I'm sorry, he's just one of the best goalies in the state. I don't care.
Oh, incredible!
He is just. Well, Marsh saw it last year in the handshake line. We lost to Neenah in the playoffs, and Marsh is like, I don't believe I have to face you 3 more years in a row. And that's the deal. I mean, he's just really taken to the sport. He's a quarterback too when he plays football, just to put a plug in for the multi-sport. And I know Coach
nice.
Makowitz likes him there. We both talked about how he likes to compete. And so, yeah, so that's kind of on the defensive side. And then we also have, the heart of any team's their midfield unit. And there again, I got some nice seniors with Sean Welsh, John Hansen, again, another Sean, a multi-sport everywhere. Sean, volleyball player, John Hansen, fullback on the football team. I think Coach Makowitz threw him to him twice, and I think he blocked. So in lacrosse, he's gonna get to carry the ball a little bit anyway, and hopefully throw it in the goal. And so I safety from I got multi-sport 3-sport kid Logan Clavio. Peyton Mazinski also played football, so really a lot of multi-sport kids, which is just exciting.
That's super exciting. It's also exciting too. You mentioned the football players that play. Every time I watch an NFL game and they bring up that this was a lacrosse player, it just it warms my heart. I love that.
Yep. Amen. I left out in lacrosse they kind of say up the middle, right? So your goalie, talked about Reed, attack, we talked about Jax, and then face off, right? So got two kids who been working hard at face off. And one of them also, again, is a football player. So, Brady Ranke, again, a kid who he was in the sport, was out of the sport, came back last year, and he's just committed to strength and conditioning program. And then Emery Emery Nickel is also just really worked hard at it. So, but I always say, face-off guys, man, it's critical. It's just critical. You got to have the ball. So that's why the wins and losses, you just don't know. One night you walk into a game and your guy matches up great, against the other guy, and you got the ball all night. The next night, same kid doesn't match up against the other kid or the face-off team, and you don't have the ball. So, we'll just see how that goes.
I haven't kept up any major rule changes. Are we pretty decent
Oh,
this year?
Joe, you're as an official. Yes. This year I think the thing that I like back to the face-offs is they kept the mechanic the way in 2019 they had it perfect, and then COVID came along and they had to come up with these sort of COVID rules about how you put the ball down and all that. They're going back to the 2019 rules.
Oh, good.
And I think it just makes it fair. It's just a real nice, clean face-off way to go at it. And it's not really a rule, it's the mechanic. As you know, mechanics are everything in officiating. And so now it's down, set, and then a cadence whistle, so the guys can't jump the whistle. So it's going to be good.
It's the best part of not officiating is I don't have to remember the rules or the enforcement. That's a freeing of the brain.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Roger, we want to kind of keep it short because we've got a couple of other coaches, but I wanted to, you've mentioned it a few times in this interview that, some kids are going on to play D1. I know several are playing club and, D2, D3 around the country, really. And that's been the growth that we've seen in Northeastern Wisconsin. There are kids now going to play lacrosse in college and being recruited to play.
Yep, absolutely. Like I said, on our team, Jacks could play in a lot of places. And as a matter of fact, a bunch of my players could all play. I think, Mikey would love to have some of our players at Lawrence,
Yeah.
But I think it's always finding that academic fit, and the family fit, right?
Right.
Jacks, for example, probably could play in a number of East Coast teams. But is that the right fit for him? Right. So, and every kid is got their own journey and their own path. But certainly on the lacrosse side and in the athletic side, we're putting kids out there that can do it. So
it's cool to see. It's cool to see the sport grow. And you've always helped in recruiting. And I think one of your best pieces of advice you've ever given kids was if you didn't play the sport that you got recruited, could you see yourself going to the school, or would you be happy at this school? And that's a huge part of it, because as we go through life, you do see kids that start playing college and maybe it's overwhelming. Maybe they burn out. Maybe they just don't want to play anymore. And you're not playing the sport, but you're still going to the school, and you got to like
absolutely. It. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're going there for an education. We do have Gash who went to the PLL, but he's probably an exception.
Yeah, I would say so. Man, did you see about a month ago? Because he's playing box, right? He killed that guy.
Yeah. Oh my, that was a bad idea, picking a fight with him. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. He's a great kid too. He's just one of those between the lines. You don't want to mess with him.
No. I know you were there, but just half a dozen, 8 years ago. It was a fight, but it was one of the funnest isn't a word, but it was one of the funnest times I had as an official up at Bayport Appleton, and Gash was on the field and we had a fight, but gosh darn it, that was just electric.
Yeah. It's competing. It's competed at a high level.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah.
Well, Roger, I appreciate it. I know Kimberly's going to compete at a high level every single game, and hopefully you're down in Sun Prairie and raising the gold. What do they give out for the WIA? Is it a gold ball, or what is their trophy?
I'd like to find out.
Yeah,
I think it's a plaque.
All right.
Hey, let me put in one plug. On April 26th, us in Appleton are hosting Economowalk and Edgewood Madison.
Yeah.
And Tim Eckes is working with us to promote a Lacrosse Fights Cancer Day.
Oh, nice.
And obviously my recent history here. And plus, I know it's very near and dear to Tim with his family fighting cancer. So we're trying to get to all 4 programs, and I think it's a great Appleton, Kimberly working together, because there'll be 4 high-quality lacrosse teams in the Appleton, Kimberly that day. And on the side, we're trying to raise some awareness and maybe a few bucks for cancer.
That's fantastic. Everybody knows a cancer survivor. You're one of them. It touches us all. So a great cause. Tash and I will plug that. And I don't have to work. I'm coming out there. I miss seeing lacrosse. I didn't catch any games last time.
That day you got, it's just awesome matchups wherever you look. And they're going on at East and Papermaker Stadium. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
I heard the weather's supposed to be 80 and sunny that day, so we're good.
Joe, I heard that too. Let's keep that rumor going.
Let's do it. Well, good luck to you, Roger.
All right, Joe. Thanks, man.